Hey, and good morning. I'm here with Omuugn to talk to you about cheerfulness. I've looked forward to this. We are reading from the insights and wisdom of Omuugn. Now, cheerfulness. How does that fit in with all of our lives? What a great topic. Hello, and how are you today, Omuugn?
It's a good day to be alive, so I'm doing well. Everything we did as a family, we did together. They had to learn to be with the family and to appreciate different things. We went on a lot of walks together as a family. We would walk at night in the moonlight, and the babies we would put in a wagon and pull them along. Sometimes during the day, we would go to college campuses and walk around the campus and see things that were going on in the world. We played a lot of games together. We spent a lot of time popping popcorn and telling stories. Television was available in your time, but we limited television to one night a week, like on Friday nights. You could watch television programs. But one of the things that we did that was meaningful is that we had a structure in our life. For example, we had jobs that everyone was assigned a job every week. Part of our culture was that you learned to work and you learned to work hard and you learned to do quality work. And yet we tried to make that work enjoyable. Everything you do should be fun. That no matter what you're doing, you can find all kinds of positive ways to look at it. So the idea is to enjoy what you do. And if you don't like to do something, either don't do it or enjoy doing it. There's just no middle ground. For example, I've heard people say that they hated to go to work.
Mhm.
They hated Monday to come because they had a whole week of work in front of them. And they grumbled all during the days while they were at work. And it was just miserable to be around those people. If you're going to do something, if you have to do something, make it enjoyable. Make it the best experience that you can and project that cheerful attitude, that optimism into everything you do. It just makes life worth living.
Along that same thought, because I agree with you 100%. When I was in my 20s, I came across a book that was written by George Walther, and it was called Power Talking. One of the things that I learned from that book that really changed my outlook, especially on my job, was instead of saying, I have to go to work today, he replaced the word have to with get to. I get to go to work today. I started changing just a couple little words here and there. One of those words that I would change is but. Instead of saying but, you change the word with and. I would love to spend time to you today with you today, Dad, but and then there's some kind of an excuse. But if you say, I'd love to spend time with you and I can do that on Saturday, you end up thinking in different terms. When we talk about just creating a world that we want to live in, a lot of it is how we think and the words that we're actually using.
Now, we need to be aware of our self talk. Sometimes we try to be cheerful and happy, but our self talk is really discouraging and pessimistic. So, again, that takes us back to mindfulness. We need to be aware of how we talk. Sometimes we're not aware of the intonation of our voice. Maybe we feel happy, but the way other people hear us is more stern or negative, or maybe they think we're judging them. We don't know how we affect other people unless we ask them. We need to really be aware of how our presence is being portrayed in our habitual way of living. It's really interesting to look at yourself under a microscope and really analyze your characteristics. That was the point of the whole book, was to take each one of the traits and isolate it. And instead of living on the surface of everything, to drill down on the traits and look at what they're made of and how you would be changed if you lived the optimal trait. If all of the characteristics that we manifest as human beings, if we were living as we should live in all of those areas, we would have really developed social skills and we would have really developed cheerfulness and tolerance and all of the different attributes. We need to really look at ourselves and hold ourselves to the fire, to be accountable to ourselves as well as other people that live around us on what our demeanor is.
This was great. I just love this time together. We're here every Saturday for just a little bit to share with you some of life's lessons that will help you live a life of impact. So thank you, Moon, for joining us today.